No, the press and everything, I mean, as soon as it was announced, everyone was on top of it and completely exceeded expectations than what anyone could have imagined. Well, I mean, Ryan, obviously he's amazing. I mean, he's bringing it in with the writers and the director Tim and everything like that. They were all able to come together and get this passion from it that, that they've all been working on for so long. And it shows on screen because of how well it was. I think it's just exciting. I mean, just the big VFX, just the action and everything. And this was like the unconventional kind of superhero movie that no one's been able to do before. And being able to take an R rating and put that into a Marvel movie, it's like you were able to go beyond any of the expectations that people were able to ever do on any of the previous Marvel movies and everything. So, yeah, so it was really cool. It wasn't astronomical. I mean, it was around 2 hours of footage a day and stuff like that of what we would get and whatnot, which was pretty normal. And then they shot with the Alexa camera in multiple formats and everything. But it was figuring out Premiere because we had never used Premiere before, and going through and figuring out the workflow with everyone. So it was a good time. You know, I think going into any project, there's going to be issues going into it. You want to have an open mind, knowing that there's going to be problems, that you're going to figure stuff out. And when you get a team, surrounding yourself with a bunch of good people, you figure those issues out. And we were able to get it through, and the outcome was great. So being able to work on it and everything was a huge success. I think there's positives and negatives for in either way that you go. I mean, there's some cool features being able to stack timelines and stuff like that in Adobe. Some of the cool features, being able to turn on and off clips in the timeline itself right there, as opposed to turning off the tracks and stuff like that. And I think if you ask each assistant or if you ask the editor, each person has something new that they actually like, as opposed to, so. We did the traditional. I mean, we had this whole other idea in the beginning of cutting natively and everything, but because we shot with so many different formats, we weren't able to do that. So the idea that we wanted to do in the beginning, we unfortunately couldn't. So we kept to the traditional pipeline and everything, the normal turnovers and everything of what you would do on any show and stuff. So. I think just coming into a whole new editing platform, and trying to figure out a workflow and what's going to work with what we had and everything. I mean, coming in and never, we were all avid editors and everything. So coming into Premiere, where we had no idea, we had to hit the ground running while they're shooting, figuring out how Premiere works while at the same time doing what we needed to do in order to get the editor what he needed to cut in time for the director and stuff. So it was just, it was a mixture of that. But as far as, the show was shot normally, and there weren't any other implications of that really caused that many issues. So. Wait, Julian, I had never worked with Julian before, so coming in, we got to know each other really well throughout the experience and stuff, and as far as what he expected and required was nothing different than any other editor. He wanted dailies in the morning, prepping everything early and stuff like that, and then as soon as we got him dailies, he hit the ground running cutting so he can have cuts to the director by end of day, and being able to do that gave Tim uh, a great chance to see what he was missing or if he needed something else and whatnot, and actually be able to go ahead and look forward to what he's doing the next days and stuff like that. So. It's definitely tight, but I've definitely worked on other shows where it's the same kind of, they shoot on a Monday, you get dailies Tuesday, and the director's looking at cuts Tuesday night. So it's definitely a tough one, but, and I've been on other shows where it's been a little bit more relaxed, but, it's good because then it keeps the director on par with what they shot, and that way they've got time to do additional shoots on if they're on that scene still. So it is beneficial to the whole crew. I think, I mean, in any case, you've got a lot of cooks in the kitchen at that point where you can do, you know, I mean, if you're shooting with an extraction, you can reframe stuff if the DP is doing a certain look or whatnot. But you know, in this case, we showed dailies to the DP, the director, every single day, so they knew what they were getting and everything. So you know, going into it, I think in the end, it was Tim who really wanted to look and reframe and whatnot. So nothing that was, you know, out of the ordinary and whatnot.